Minnesota Twins baseball is presented by Progressive. Beautiful look at Target Field. Afternoon baseball today from the ballpark. Rubber game coming up, and Mother Nature cooperating quite well today. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 50s. Light breeze, and baseball coming up momentarily. Dan Wilson, former Golden Gopher baseball great. His team playing well, winners of 7 of their last 10, averaging over 5 runs per game during this run and hitting a ton of home runs. And Cal Raleigh, speaking of home runs, blasted 60 last year. Homered here on Monday night. Julio Rodriguez, his first career 3-double performance last night in the 7-1 victory. Josh Naylor homered as well with Randy Arozarena, Luke Raley, Dominic Canzone, Cole Young. Young-looking second baseman off to a great start, and Will Wilson will make his first appearance in the series and play third base. And Taj Bradley Morty back on the mound. His season numbers are brought to you by CarShield.
Yeah, off to a really good start this year. Not every start is going to be great, as Audra said. So bouncing back, gave up 4 homers in that last one, but not terrible pitches. Still attacked the strike zone after that. How is he going to use his fastball? What's the velocity going to be like? Day game, weather's a little bit warmer than it has been. That cutter, that curveball, and that split. So the righties, that fastball cutter combination has been very good. And then the split as a swing and miss pitch, also very useful. So how does he go after this deep Seattle lineup? What does it look like from the start? See if he's attacking the strike zone early.
And we know that several guys in this Mariners lineup, they do swing early. Keep an eye on that. With Bradley here today, J.P. Crawford will lead things off for the Mariners. 1 for 7, a couple of runs, a couple of walks so far in this series. And Taj, his first fastball at 96 is high. With that, we're underway. See, Crawford makes a ton of contact, highest on this team. Low strikeout rate, high walk rate. 1-1.
There's our swing and miss on a fastball. That's something that being able to establish that early and then mix everything else.
Line to short, and a sinking line drive is caught by Brooks Lee in the air. So Crawford lines out. So 1 up, 1 down. Cal Raleigh coming up. How about the rest of the Twins defensively, Morning?
You got Brooks Lee back in there at short, Royce in there again and left. Trevor Larnach with a tremendous play out and left. Yesterday's ball game, you got Buxton and Wallner back in there as well. After the day off, Clemens and Keishel on the right side. Then Jeffers back behind the plate.
Cal Raleigh 1 hit in the series, and that was a home run of Andrew Morris here on Monday night. Now has 7 on the season. Got off to a slow start, but the All-Star Platinum Glove winning catcher, his numbers are improving and doing so quickly. Good splitter there, and it's a 1-1 count on Raleigh. DH'd on Monday behind the plate last night and again today.
And with his offense and the way he swung the bat, whether he's behind the plate or not, he's going to be in the lineup and he's going to be a threat.
As a Raleigh fan on the dock, hope that young man has a good time, but hopefully the only souvenir he catches is maybe a Luke Raley ball from right, or Matt Wallner chucks him a ball, but not from this guy during the game today. Now 3-1 on Raleigh with Rodriguez on deck. Challenged him 97. Good velo here early on. Morning from Bradley.
Yeah, it's amazing how when you're a guy like Raleigh, how the pitchers seem to find another gear when they're facing you.
There's 98. Taj averaging 96 with his 4-seam fastball. We have seen him already beat that. Not even 10 pitches in. And misses down low with a splitter for ball 4. So Raleigh draws a 1-out walk, and here comes Rodriguez. But first we take a look at our Toyota keys to the game.
Well, a bounce back from Taj. We talked about that. And a team approach with runners in scoring position. Monday night, up and down the lineup, whether it was taking your walks, passing the baton to the next guy, or coming up with that big hit. So it was a struggle last night, 0 for 10. So looking to improve on that today. It's hard to win any ball game when you have that much traffic and you're unable to cash in.
It's a third, and that's a foul ball. And you look at that number, and yes, it tells quite the story. And the Mariners broke it open late last night, but there were so many opportunities early, even the midway point last night, for the Twins to put up a crooked number.
And it's funny how that you can kind of feel it as the game's going along, and you have those opportunities, whether it's bases loaded, less than 2 outs, and you're unable to cash in. You can almost feel it slipping away as it's going along.
Rodriguez hitting .371 over his last 8 games. Had a phenomenal postseason for the Mariners in October last year. Hit 4 home runs, drove in 9. Off speed, and good curveball there, 1-2 on Rodriguez. Doesn't throw that curve too often to righties.
But his ability to land it occasionally and show the hitters that it can be in the zone doesn't allow them to eliminate that as a pitch. It's another thought in the back of that hitter's mind, something they have to cover.
Clemens over to give it a look, but no play. Rodriguez, he led all center fielders last year, both Fangraphs and Baseball Reference wins above replacement. Struck him out as Bradley went back to the curveball. So first strikeout for Taj, and there are 2 down for Josh Naylor.
Well, it's funny, you know, you see Julio traditionally has been a pretty slow starter, and then you look up at the end of the year, the numbers there, and you mentioned the WAR and everything else that he's been able to do. It's hard to dig yourself a hole and constantly feel like you're running uphill the entire season, but he finds a way out of it and ends up with elite numbers by the time the year ends.
Now Josh Naylor really put the game away late last night with a long 3-run homer. Out to right, part of a 3-run 8th inning. Naylor hitting .455 over his last 9. Drove in 4 runs total last night.
Well, it's hard. You have 3 guys in a row in the lineup that played the WBC, 4 guys in a row. Rosarena, who played for Team Mexico, played in WBC, all got off to slow starts. I don't think that's a coincidence, having played that thing 4 times and understanding how much it disrupts that rhythm. And I think especially the older and the further along you get in your career and how you establish your routine is, you know exactly what it takes to get ready for the season.
Popped up. Now the infield. Ryan Jeffers flips the mask away and making the call, Royce Lewis. Nice talk there. Jeffers, Clemens all came in. Lewis had the good look. And the play is made, and the Mariners lead 1. Nice start for Taj Bradley. Twins coming up here momentarily. And the rubber game of this series. Twins 13-17 have dropped 10 of their last 12. But Derek Shelton's team certainly has performed better offensively at home with a +12 run differential so far at Target Field this season. And the Menards. Twins batting order, Byron Buxton again, 7 homers over his last 13 games. Hopefully we'll add to that today. Josh Bell, good numbers lifetime against George Kirby. Trevor Larnach had a good all-around game again last night. Clemens, Keyshaw, Wallner, Lee, and Lewis, and another power arm on the mound for the Mariners, Morty and George Kirby.
Yeah, average fastball, 96.5 miles an hour. He's got that. He's not generating as much swing and miss as he did in the past with that pitch, but he's going to be around the plate. He's going to come at you, and he's going to mix all of them in. I think part of it is with a guy whose secondary stuff is good, you try and attack that fastball as soon as you can. Part of the reason why the strikeout numbers aren't as high as you'd expect them or you're used to seeing from him.
And historically, that's where Kirby has lived, in the zone. As you take a look at all of his peers, going back to the start of 2022, he leads the big leagues in the fewest walks issued.
And I think for a guy like that who you know is going to be around the plate, and you anticipate, he's got above average fastball, so you anticipate you're probably going to see one in that bat, and you better jump on it.
And Buxton chased the sweeper down and strikes out. And Kirby now with 30 strikeouts and over 39 innings here this season. We looked this up today. Despite the overpowering velocity, Kirby's strikeout numbers are down so far this year.
Yeah, and I think he said, all right, if they want to swing early, I'll accept that. It'll allow me to pitch deeper into game. So as long as I'm generating weak contact, if they are swinging early and I'm not running deep counts, then maybe it can work to my benefit. He's a guy who pitches with a lot of emotion, a little fire. He's trying to get himself amped up, and sometimes that can turn on you as a pitcher, but for the most part, he does a good job of keeping it under control.
So the note that Larnach has reached base safely in 14 straight games. Had a triple on Monday, a double last night. Higher walk rate than strikeout rate. That's pulled foul.
I think he's getting in the category of professional hitter. He's at that stage in his career where he's seen most of the guys he's facing. He's been around the league many times, and he's comfortable, especially against the right-handed pitchers. And seen him run a lot of deep counts. He's done a good job of adjusting, laying off the soft stuff below the zone that gave him troubles early in his career.
1-2 pitch up the middle and over the head of a leaping Crawford. Soft line drive into a good spot, and Larnach continues that on-base streak with a one-out single here in the opening inning.
Well, I think sometimes you have to recognize that only a single's available at times. You get 2 strikes off a guy like this who has a lot of weapons he can go to, and you just choose to stay through the big part of the field. You're not worried about that exit velocity. It's more about making contact and finding that good part of the bat, and ends up working a line drive. Good swing.
So 1 on, 1 out for Josh Bell. 2 for 8, couple of runs scored so far in this series. As the changeup misses for ball 1. Bell hasn't seen Kirby too often, however. 7 lifetime at bats. He has 4 hits with 2 home runs.
He knew he was making sure he set a couple extra alarms to get here today. Ow.
1-1 on Bell. Really has been the Twins' primary DH so far this season. Target field from our Delta drone cam. Lofted to shallow right as Young drifts out and makes the catch, and there are 2 down. Ryan Jeffers coming up as we take a look at Seattle defensively here today.
Rosarena, Julio, and Rayleigh back in there again, and Will Wilson, as you mentioned, his first start of the series at third. Crawford, Young, Naylor, and Frawley back behind the plate. This is a team with plenty of experience. Some elite defensive players. Julio, Young, especially at second base.
Jeffers blasts it to right, but in the yard for Rayleigh, moving over and makes the catch. And that is the inning. Twins get a hit. League 1 scoreless.
Over 2.
No score on a beautiful day here at Target Field, where Trevor Larnach is back in left field this afternoon after making a spectacular catch last night. Maybe one of the best we've seen in his career. Well, I asked him about it today, and he laughed and said, in the past, I haven't caught those. So when I looked down in my glove and it was there, it was like, oh, wow. All the hard work is paying off. And I asked him, does that solidify everything that you've done and all the work on defense? And he said, I can see that. And yes, you can say that. But really, no, it doesn't, because there's a game today and I can make a couple of errors for all I know. It was fun, but it's over. And now it's on to the next thing. So, guys, you got to appreciate the honesty. He knows he probably wouldn't have made that grab a year ago. And he knows it's only one of many more he needs to make.
Taj Bradley against his former teammate in Tampa Bay. Randy Rosarena behind 3-0. As we start the second inning, but Audra, that's a great report on Larnach, because all the hard work is paying off that he put in this offseason, continues to do in season. And 3-1 on a Rosarena.
And I asked Grady Sizemore about it, who coaches the outfielders, was a tremendous outfielder in his own right. They have a routine that the outfielders are doing every day, working on their angles, working on their routes, and working on their defense. And I think, much like the infielders we see him now, pretty common on the side. Now Larnach very comfortable out there and left. And I think when you feel like you've put in work, you kind of expect to see it pay off. And I think that adds to the confidence. You know you put the work in. You know you've worked on your first step. He's worked on his running and all of those things, but also working with Grady on a daily basis. I asked him, okay, what about throwing? He said, well, the weather hasn't exactly been great for us to get out here and throw, but they try and throw first game of the series. The outfielders throw to the bases. Nice point.
Scooped up by Lewis. And the throw across. And a Rosarena is out, number 1. Let's go back to Trevor Larnach, and just this is new for him this year. Just working on the lower half. The agility training that he's doing is part of a daily routine that he did not have in the past.
Yeah, I think you adjust as your career goes along and you figure out what you need to do to prepare, and that's something he addressed that he wanted to get better at, wanted to play more outfield. And he's looked good out there, and I think it's also just part of having that daily routine. Not saying that he didn't have anything going in the past, but just getting with Grady and making sure they're staying on top of that first step and everything else that's so important to an outfielder.
The balls and 2 strikes. Audra.
Guys, not only did Trevor want to play more defense this year, he specifically asked for it. He made his thoughts known way back in spring training with a conversation with Derek Shelton, telling him, listen, I've played outfield my whole life. I'm not just a designated hitter. And he said, a manager is going to do whatever he wants to run his own team, but I'm just going to put my 2 cents and speak my truth. If he wants to follow suit with that, great. But I'm not going to go down without telling him, look, I'm not just a DH. Put me out in the outfield. I love it.
You know what, Audra? That's back-to-back springs that Larnach has had candid conversations with his manager. Last year in spring training with Rocco Baldelli, he wanted the chance to see left-handed pitching more. He got that chance. And now with Derek Shelton, hoping to play more outfield this year than he has in the past. And Raley strikes out on a Bradley curveball. Second strikeout for Taj so far today at 2 down.
And I think managers love to hear that. Instead of a guy sitting there complaining, getting bitter, getting angry, whatever it is, make your voice heard. And that way, at least you get it off your chest. And then if it doesn't happen, at least you feel like, hey, I've let him know that I want to be out there, and I'm also showing him I'm putting in the work, so I deserve to be out there. It kind of feeds. If you don't, I'm not saying you always need to go in the manager's office and tell him what you're thinking, but if you have certain things like that that are kind of bothering you or eating away, why not go in there and say, hey, I believe I'm a major league outfielder. I want to play outfield. I don't want to just be a DH. And then I think the manager starts looking for spots to put you out there, and then you have a little success, and it kind of builds off of that. Larnach, it's his career, and he's speaking up for himself. And Shelty seems to have listened early.
Bradley 2 strikeouts today, both with his curveball. What does he do here? 0-2. Was a curve, and he spiked it. To Dominic Canzone, DHing for the 2nd straight game. A guy who has struggled against breaking balls so far this season, only 1 hit. Chasing more, swinging and missing more, but also when he's made contact, he's been barreling up the baseball. Not this time. 92 on a splitter, and Taj popping off the mound with some confidence early today. It's a 1-2-3 second, 3 punch-outs already today for Bradley. Blue skies and sunshine, and hopefully a winning day for the Twins. No score, bottom 2. Clemens, Keyshaw, and Wallner. Taj Bradley so far 3 strikeouts, 1 walk through 2. Cody Clemens, a year ago yesterday, made his Twins debut. Did so in Cleveland. Balls and 2 strikes. Clemens, regular playing time in this series. Same for Larnach. Twins seeing a string of 3 righties in this series. Another righty for the Twins tomorrow night, Kevin Gausman. Will get the ball for Toronto in game 1. And Patrick Corbin, lefty Friday. Dylan Cease, righty Saturday. Righty Trey Savage on Sunday.
I wonder if this early in the year, traditionally Blue Jays have traveled well here.
Poke to left field and down. Leadoff single for Cody Clemens. His third hit in this series. Leadoff man is on here in the second.
This is pretty similar to the Larnach approach. Get behind in the count and just try and move that ball forward. That ball moved from one side of the plate to the other. Just throws his hands at it and gets on top. So this all the time. Sometimes only a single is available. Pitchers throw home runs. They leave balls in the middle of the plate, as we've seen Buxton punish a couple of those in this series. But pitch like that, that's going to be really hard to hit out of the ballpark and take what they give you.
Now Keyshaw, a sinker for a strike. Yeah, Luke 3 for 7, a double, a stolen base, a couple of walks in this series. Making consistent contact on pitches in the zone, among the best in the game. You see that number lower left.
I feel like we need to start reclassifying these fastballs. To me, a sinker has more depth and a two-seam has run. And his is more of a two-seam than it is a sinker. You know, that, think of the traditional like bowling ball, that ball's moving north to south, and then that two-seamer is more just running and chasing those right-handed hitters towards their hands.
Kirby's been tough so far this season, 0-2, as Keyshaw.
Like, that's a letter high sinker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know it's picking it apart, but.
Nice run value so far with Kirby and his four-seam fastball.
Just pounding the strike zone. Keep attacking, keep attacking, keep attacking.
And a reminder about run value, it's an out-based statistic. Outs you're creating, gaining based on certain pitches you throw.
Yeah, and when you throw them, the importance of four-seam with the bases loaded for an out is different than a first pitch strike with that four-seam. So weighted in some ways. And some shoulder issues a couple of years ago. Did throw a split for a while. That was a big swing and miss pitch for him, and got more to the changeup the last couple of seasons. That's just something that isn't spinning, that's going to move, that's going to keep these hitters off balance.
Kirby began last season on the IL with a right shoulder injury. Ended up making 23 starts. Again, the 2-2 to Keyshaw. And now 3-2.
That's that change up there.
Kirby has walked only one right-handed batter all year. Want to see Clemens moving here?
Yeah,
Keyshaw, low strikeout rate.
Yeah, with how many strikes he throws, you know it's going to be around the plate. Mariners thinking the same thing. Yeah, I'm putting him in motion, trusting that Keyshaw is going to either make contact or take it if it's ball four.
Cody takes off, 3-2 pitch, grounded weakly to short, got jammed. Crawford picks, slings it across. So Cody to second, Keyshaw grounds out. Matt Wallner coming up, matches 3 for his last 34. Here's Derek Shelton pregame as to what he's seeing so far with Matt Wallner.
I think in Wally's case, the amount of left-handers we saw early has affected him also. But yeah, right now we just have to have the consistency. It seems like there's not consistency in what he's doing within the box, and we have to just stick with one thing and stay there and let that play out.
I think Shelty's referring to in the Tampa series, his feet were closer together. He's just trying to feel something that feels comfortable, that you can be confident in, and I think he's frustrated, I'm sure, because he's missing some pitches in zone that in the past he's taken advantage of. But he's a guy who tends to think, and he's trying to constantly find an edge, find an advantage, and sometimes it works against you. And I think there's also the understanding he knows how they're getting him out, and he knows how they're pitching him, and he's trying to adjust. And I think we talk about it all the time. It's a game of adjustments. What do you do? How do you counter what the league is doing to you? And that's what he is trying to work through, putting himself in a position where he can take advantage or just kind of flip the script on those pitches. And it's kind of in that zone right there. And that check swing, I think sometimes you know how you're going to be pitched, and you see it going in that spot, and you're trying to find the weapon to kind of counter that. And we've seen him also, when he is hot, he can hit anybody and he can carry this offense, and you're just hoping he finds something that works and that is comfortable sooner than later.
Clemens at second base, 1 out. Twins their first chance today with a runner in scoring position. 0 for 10 last night. 2-2.
You know, one of the keys to our game coming in is these runners in scoring positions at bats, especially if you're able to play with the lead. You're able to play from in front. So as you get sped up with those fastballs up, they try and open up that inside part of the plate, get that front side flying out of there a little bit early, and then slow it down and see if they can get a swing and miss or weak contact.
Okay, back with the breaking ball, and Kirby picks up his second strikeout today. So 2 down, it's up to Brooks Lee.
It's tough because if you go through this at bat, there weren't really any pitches in the heart of the zone. This one ended up in the strike zone, but it was down and it was moving. And it seems like also when you're struggling, very rarely do they make a mistake, and then when they make it, you're not taking advantage of it.
A rare night off for Brooks Lee last night. He's been performing well, 5 home runs. Not too back of Byron Buxton's team leading 7. And you see 429 with runners in scoring position. And you may think, hey, first base open, a righty on deck. They work around Lee, but this season Kirby has been nasty against lefties. Lefties hitting 171. Righties at 278. That's just in terms of batting average. Lee ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Is that a fastball swing?
2-0 changeup. Yeah, you're going against the guy who throws a lot of fastballs. You're anticipating something in the zone, and it's a good job of pulling the string there with that changeup. I feel like Brooks's swings and takes have been really good recently. It seems like he's seeing that ball early out of the hand. He's in his legs really well. And then he's taking advantage of pitches on the middle half or middle part of the plate. Taking those base hits the other way and then turning on balls, not letting the pitcher feel like there's one part of the strike zone they're comfortable going to. And he's going good. He's using the whole field as most hitters are.
His first ever look at George Kirby happening right now. 2-2 pitch. Do it again. Lewis on deck if Lee can't extend the inning.
So you go sweeper moving one way. Do you go changeup moving the other way down and away? Look for something down.
Began and did not go. The crew chief Doug Eddings making that call at third base.
And that's a pitch first couple of weeks of the season he was kind of firing on. Now he's able to hold with his lower half. He's into his legs. That 2-strike approach, and does a good job of holding up.
Kirby went 3-2 on Keyshaw, now 3-2 on Lee. Struck him out with a changeup. So back-to-back strikeouts for Kirby, and the Twins lead Clemens at second base. Rubber game of this series. Twins and the Mariners scoreless so far at Target Field after 2. Cole Young leads off the third inning for Seattle. A strike at 95 from Bradley. To Cole Young. Tough out last night. He's been a tough out this season for just about every team. Has an RBI in 5 straight games. And as I said, like many, his numbers are improving here the last week and a half. Young is hitting .372 over his last 12 games. Was a first-round pick in 2022. In the air to right center field. On the move goes Wallner, and Wallner able to run it down. From sunshine to shade. The Moose on the loose. And a good running effort by Wallner to take an extra base hit away from Young.
Just a great route right here to this ball. He checked where he was at as the ball was in flight to see if he was going to run into that wall. He takes a peek right there and then finds that ball again and goes and tracks it down. This is a really good play. Awareness of your home ballpark. When's that wall going to creep up on you?
And Bradley loving the effort. And now to left, and Larnach makes the catch, and Will Wilson quickly makes out number 2. Now coming up, special pregame conversation will take place here tomorrow night with Derek Shelton, kind of a 10-club Pearl Jam roundtable. Myself, Morty, and Shelty in his office talking about our favorite band. Pride of Seattle, Washington. Great Pearl Jam conversation, part of the pregame show tomorrow night. We start at 6 o'clock here on Twins TV. We aired part 1 on the pregame show yesterday, and Shelty gave us kind of a cool tour of his office. Crawford to right, deep, and trouble. Wallner turns, and that is gone. On a curveball, J.P. Crawford with his second homer this season, and the Mariners have a 1-0 lead.
Pretty good swing right here. Ball bottom of the zone. You know, if Crawford went up there with this pitch in mind, hard to do on a pitch a guy only throws about 10% of the time. But it is the second curveball he's allowed. Not a terrible pitch. You see Jeffers' glove going right down towards the dirt, but he was able to keep the hands back and the barrel through the zone.
Taj gave up his first homers of the season. His last start, 4 to the Rays, 2 from Junior Caminero, 2 from Jonathan Aranda. And now Crawford takes Taj deep. 1-0 Seattle. Check swing, didn't mean to. Towards the mound, played by Bradley. He'll lob it to first in time. Out number 3, but the Mariners strike for 1 here in the third. J.P. Crawford with his second homer this season and the 17th home run for the Mariners over their last 11 games.
Seattle up 1-0 as we head into the bottom of the third, and we bring you into another edition of Hawk Talk with our buddy LaTroy Hawkins. LaTroy, great to see you. We have heard a lot lately about the camaraderie of this team in general, but how much has that also become a factor for your group here in the bullpen?
It's a big factor. I think when you have veteran guys out here, we already had Taylor Rogers, now we had Luis Garcia. Both of those guys have 10+ years, and Taylor Rogers takes the reins and got the guys working out together instead of doing it individually. So that's another way that they're trying to build their camaraderie together.
After a little bit of a tough stretch for Anthony Bondo, we've seen him buckle down and have now 4 pretty good outings. What has he been working on to get his game back on track?
Well, with him just being consistent on the mound and understanding like what he's trying to do every time he's going out there. And Luis Ramirez, our assistant pitching coach, he grabbed him and told him, hey, this is what we're going to work on when you do your touch and field. You're going to face the hitters that you're designated probably going to face in the game, and we're working on getting ahead and putting the guys away. And I think that's helped his mental and helped him with the ability to going out there. Whatever we work here, that translate in the game.
You mentioned the addition of Luis Garcia yesterday. We saw him right out of the gate make his debut for this team. A veteran guy, brings that presence to your group. What else do you know about him?
Well, we have the same agent, Larry Reynolds. Yes, we have that in common. And, I just know he got up. He told us yesterday he got up at 7:30, had an 11 o'clock game in St. Paul, played that game, and then had a chance to get called to the big leagues and pitched in the game. And he had a kid at 1 o'clock. So he had quite the eventful day.
Had a kid, pitching a ball game, just a everyday Tuesday. That's incredible. Well, we appreciate you. Always good to catch up with you, my friend.
Thanks, Audra.
How's that for breaking news, guys? We got another new baby in the bullpen out here.
That is a day.
That is a day.
Wow. Audra, thank you. And we thank our buddy LaTroy Hawkins, our Wednesday Hawk Talk here at home. Hole left side, base hit left field. And Byron Buxton with a 1-out single. And the Twins have their 3rd hit off Kirby, and we saw Byron swipe his first base of the season last night. And we'll see if he's on the move here shortly.
Just going to mention that Cal, one of the better catchers, or one of the best catchers in baseball, throwing out runners. Something's got to give, right? You got Buck, one of the best base stealers of all time, especially as far as rate goes. What's going to happen here is he's going to pick something. Maybe he can get some off speed early that he can run on.
He stays put as Larnach swings and misses, you know, on Kirby's end too, here to navigate this situation. And yes, while the strikeout rate may be down this year, Morty, his ground ball rate is a career high.
Just relying on that movement, understanding how hitters are attacking him.
Ground ball to the right side, to second for one, and Crawford throws high, and coming down with the tag, and out is Larnach, as Naylor did make the play on the back end of the inning-ending double play. See if the Twins take a look here on the high throw from Crawford. Mark Hallberg on the phone, bench coach chatting with Joe Casey in the replay room. Timer down to 2, down to 1, and the Twins will not challenge. 1-0 Seattle, 4th inning when we come back. Seattle up 1-0 on a home run a moment ago from J.P. Crawford, and now it's hitters 3, 4, and 5 against Bradley, Rodriguez, Naylor, and Arozarena. Mariners head home after the ball game here today. Off day tomorrow. To third down the line, bouncing fair. Lewis will throw, and not nearly in time.
Good job of Clemens of recognizing that. With his speed, Royce, he was kind of in that spot where he wasn't sure if that ball was going to stay fair. And you're almost better off just letting it go. Once he realized it was probably going to hit the base, he ended up trying to adjust and make a play on it. With Julio's speed, you're not going to throw him out. But usually this ball has some top spin and it's going to kind of kick. But it actually went back the other way once it got in that spot right next to the grass. And Cody did a nice job at the end of that, making sure it didn't end up down the right field line.
Strike one on Josh Naylor. He popped out his first time. We'll keep an eye on Rodriguez, of course. He can fly, 3 stolen bases this season. Stays put as Naylor tracks outside for a ball. Naylor finished last season with the Mariners, was with Arizona, and a free agent, but he signed rather quickly in the offseason, a 5-year deal in November to stay with Seattle.
Well, if you know you like where you're at, you don't need to look anywhere else, especially the run they went on. You kind of get to jump in the middle of it. All the momentum was there. Kind of ride that wave. Very close pitch. Jeffers not confident to challenge on that one, but and I think the fans and the atmosphere they had, and say, I want to be a part of this. Nothing against Cleveland, but they don't draw as many as they do in Seattle. And so to get around that excitement that fan base has, they were trying to make their first World Series. And he said he loved playing there. He was able to go in there, settle in. You're surrounded by some other great players as well. He said, I want to keep going.
A big cut at a splitter now, 2-2. You know, Naylor reminded that he's still pretty young. He's only 28 years old.
Yeah.
Hit free agency at a very early age. Rodriguez stays, the 2-2 pitch. Another pop-up, similar spot. Lewis and Jeffers, it's Jeffers.
Yeah, you taking a deeper dive into Naylor's numbers coming into this series. Pop-up career high rate, pulling the ball more than he ever has. He's swinging a ton early, but that's something he's always done. He's always been aggressive, but he really has been swinging it better lately. Does typically have an all-field line drive type approach, and then he'll punish you if you make a mistake in the zone. Nice job by Taj there.
Inside on a cutter to Arozarena. Grounded out to Lewis at third in the second. Arozarena, 31 years old. Down a strike. 1-1 here in the 4th inning. Longtime Tampa Bay Ray, acquired by Seattle. Our Delta drone camera. See Rodriguez leading at first, and Arozarena in the batter's box. like he went. Sure did. You see Dexter Kelly nodding up and down behind the plate. Mariners dugout saying no, ask for help, and Kelly said, I got this.
It's amazing how there's like certain things that bother every single hitter, every single team. And one of those things is please get some help on those check swings.
Struck him out. Boy, the curveball forcing that swing from Arozarena. Timing off, feet moving. And Bradley again with the curveball going up in the zone here.
Yeah, he's got so much depth on that pitch, and Randy just trying to fight it off, adjust, and that ball starts so much above the zone, it's hard to convince yourself to swing at it.
So 2 down, and now Luke Raley. Now, early on this season, Glenn Perkins, and this began when we were together in Baltimore. Morning game 1 of the season about the ABS zone, and he thinks there's going to be room at the top for pitchers and catchers to take advantage, and especially with the breaking ball.
Yeah, one like that starts at your eyes, and you're telling yourself there's no way you should ever swing a pitch up there.
Lofted to left, and Trevor Larnach will squeeze it, and the inning ends, and the Mariners leave Rodriguez. Twins coming up bottom 4 as the Twins are down 1-0. Let's keep it here for today's Twins Insider and our first rendition of what we call Justin's Workshop. Take it away, Mr. Morneau.
Yeah, I think we talked so much in today's game about the strikeouts and do hitters have a 2-strike approach. Well, Ryan Jeffers is one of those guys that has an obvious 2-strike approach. He's narrower. Before he gets the 2 strikes, he spreads out, he chokes up on the bat, he goes back to using the middle part of the field. So why does he do this? It gives him more time to see that baseball out of the hand. Left is before he gets the 2 strikes, black is where he starts, red is where he ends up. So you see 2-inch less difference of him, how wide he gets when he swings that baseball bat. So what does that do? It allows him to track those breaking balls a little bit deeper. It allows him to fight off those fastballs like we saw on Monday night where he was able to shoot that ball the other way. And I think as we go, it was something we were forced to do in the minor leagues. Hey, until you get to AAA, you were going to hit with a 2-strike approach. You were going to choke up. You're going to think fastball to the opposite gap. And now I'm not going to assume what he's thinking, but I'm just going with what we were told in the minor leagues. And obviously this was a while ago, but we went out there and you were forced to learn how to hit with 2 strikes and learn to have a 2-strike approach. And then you could adjust off of that. And what it did, was it allowed you to see pitches out of the hand. It allowed you to feel more comfortable, when you're looking for pitches, when you get into 2 strikes. And yes, if your question is why wouldn't you do that all the time if it's so effective, this is a question that Rod Carew asked me. He said, if you choke up with 2 strikes, why would you not do that all the time if you think it makes you a better hitter? You get closer to the big part of the bat. It gives you a little more bat control, but it also can cost you some power. So the more spread out you get, the harder it is for your body to rotate in the proper way. You end up just kind of being all hands and just sort of throwing your hands at the ball. So I think to have an adjustment, to have something that gives you sort of as much of a mental edge as a physical edge of saying, okay, I've got more time because I choked up on the bat. I'm in a spot where I can get to that hard fastball but still cover that breaking ball if he throws it in the zone. So Jeffers is one of those guys that makes an obvious adjustment, and it's paid off for him well. He's hitting better than anyone else on the team with 2 strikes, especially compared to league average.
Let me ask you this. As Josh Bell takes a curveball, Jeffers on deck. If choking up gives you a bit more time to make the adjustment and ideally put the ball in play, isn't that going to be harder and harder to do with the velocity increasing year by year in terms of A swing? I just want to have an A swing, but if you adjust, you're like, well, yeah, it sounds great in theory, but if the ball is coming in consistently harder than it used to be, it's going to be even tougher, right, to constantly have that A swing?
Yeah, and I think with all the stuff and the movement and everything as well, we talked about guys having 3 different fastballs last night, throwing 3 pitches 95 plus, that one's a sinker, one's a 4-seam, and one's a cutter. You guys are basically playing wiffle ball in a big league now, and that ball's moving all over the place. So yeah, bat control is important. And I think what does a longer bat do versus a shorter bat, and then kind of get into that whole part of it. Well, the longer bat, if you think of a catapult, and you have a catapult that's 2 feet long, not going to launch the ball as far as a catapult that's 3 feet long. So it's kind of the bat as well. And that way, if you think about it, so you're losing some of that leverage. You're losing some of that by shortening up the bat and going up the handle or using a shorter bat. You are losing some of that whip that you get coming through the zone, that bat where you can just launch baseballs. it's that trade-off, right? It's am I facing a guy who's going to strike out, Tarek Skubal is going to strike out over 200 batters, every year. What am I going to do? How am I going to counter that? And how am I going to give myself more time with a guy with an elite fastball? And so you kind of play with that in the minor leagues and you learn how it works for you. And then when you get to the big leagues, if you need it, you have that as one of your weapons. Because, you're not hitting driver every time. You need to be able to punch an 8-iron every once in a while. You need to be able to hit your wedge in there. You need to have more than one club in your bag. And Jeffers does that. And I think, like I said, as much as anything, it gives you a mental edge as much as a physical edge.
Did he go? He did not. Let's kind of watch here Jeffers and follow along how his stance, how his hands, change as the count works its way through here. So 1-1 count. Hands near the bottom of the knob for now.
And he uses that axe handle bat, so he's never really off the bottom. So his adjustment isn't as far as some, and then we'll see him here. Kirby, a guy with plus fastball velocity. Ball's going to get on you, so how do you give yourself more time? Well, you make the bat just a little bit shorter. And for him, looks like this time it's about maybe a little less than an inch, but that could be a huge difference. And we see that was just a perfect example of him letting that ball travel. That's a 98-mile-an-hour sinker that he's just kind of fighting off and using his hands, and he's eliminating some of that body, so it gives him a little more time to just kind of throw his hands at that ball. And then if he flips a breaking ball off of it, he feels like he has time to recognize that pitch instead of being rushed to that fastball.
Line to center field and a base hit. So a great breakdown here for Ryan Jeffers as we work the count with him as the at-bat went along and put the ball in play. The Twins have another single off Kirby.
And just left is before 2 strikes, right is with 2 strikes. You notice how much wider his feet are. Just a small movement of that front foot, but allows him to cover that breaking ball. He fought off that fastball, and then he got himself a breaking ball right on the edge, but he never looked overwhelmed in that at-bat because he knew he had that 2-strike swing in his back pocket. What an at-bat, and it's the hitter he's evolved into.
Cody Clemens 1 for 1 today. Pass to that first fastball from Kirby. So the Twins have had a hit every inning off Kirby so far today. 4 hits, 4 singles. Kirby today making his 5th career start against the Twins. Clemens showing bunt, pulls it back, and a good scoop and save by Raleigh.
That's just recognition of what the game was presenting. Wilson almost playing straight up shortstop before Clemens on that pitch. So Cody says, all right, let's see if we can get some more traffic, get somebody in the scoring position, find my way on base. And against the guy with the stuff that Kirby has, what's the difference between a bunt single and a line drive single? Not much.
Outside, missed the corner.
It's the command of not only his fastball, but the secondary stuff.
Three and 1.
Well, curveball to the changeup, away. Hates walks. If you're Cody here, a guy who's got a good fastball, 3-1 count. This is one of those situations where I'm down at the end of the bat and I'm looking for something to drive, something to hit hard in a gap somewhere.
And that's high, ball 4. So a rare walk first today issued by Kirby. Just the 10th all year, and the Twins have 2 on for the first time today with Keyshaw coming up.
Securian Financial, insurance and retirement solutions to prepare, protect, and secure a confident financial future. Learn more at Securian.com.
So 2 on, 1 out for Keyshaw. 0 for 1 so far today. In the air, shallow right center field. Rodriguez coming. Here comes Raley, and it lands for a base hit. Jeffers to third, and the runners are safe all around. This is landing between Rodriguez and Raley, and the bases are loaded here in the 4th inning.
As this ball was in the air, that's the respect that Raley has for Julio in center and how much ground he covers. He put on the brakes as he's maybe anticipating Julio leaving his feet for this ball. You see him kind of slide to make sure he gets out of Julio's way. Not sure he had a play on that ball, but his thought was, as that ball's in the air, I've got an elite center fielder playing next to me. If anybody's going to get this ball, I'm going to give him the opportunity. And fortunately for Keyshaw, that ball was able to fall. That will count as a hit with a runner in scoring position for the Twins. And the runners both did the right thing there. You cannot just take off assuming a ball that's hanging in the air isn't going to be caught. And so now it'll be, it's funny how, say, Wallner, 3 for his last 37 now. How these moments just kind of find you. It's like you want that. There are no easy at-bats in the big leagues, but every once in a while, hey, I'm looking for my swing. I'm trying to find something to hit. Or on the flip side of it, hey, I have one job to do right here. It's to get a pitch in the big part of the plate and hit it to the big part of the field. And maybe simplifying it is just what he needs right now.
Matt Wallner this season, bases loaded, is 1 for 4. Now the 3rd inning yesterday, last night, the Twins loaded the bases in the 4th inning. 3 on, 1 out, and did not score. 4th inning today, 3 on, 1 out, down 1. Back to a breaking ball, caught the corner. Wallner agrees. Nothing at 2. Top of the zone. And now Wallner has to battle. Kirby struck out Wallner in the 2nd with a breaking ball down. Jeffers, Clemens, Keyshaw. The Twins runners. And time. Granted by Dexter Kelly. So where's Wallner at right now here monumentally?
Well, just a reset. It's kind of, you hope he's not wondering, caught in between 2 pitches. Are they going to go fastball again? Is it going to be a breaking ball above the zone, instead of just thinking about what do I want to hit?
But back to the breaking ball, same pitch as the 2nd, and a big strikeout for Kirby, and there are 2 down. It's up to Brooks Lee.
Well, so it's so hard because the first pitch of the at-bat was probably the most hittable one, but it was a breaking ball that started off the plate. And this is something Shelty was asked about in the media before. You guys have got off to a great start with runners in scoring position, seeing a ton of pitches. Then it's been a struggle over the last couple of weeks, and said it's such a fine line between being over-aggressive early in counts with runners on 3rd and less than 2 out, and continuing to take the walks, because then you're battling that. Am I chasing pitches with runners in scoring position, trying to force the action as opposed to letting it come to me? And I think when you have that runner on 3rd base, less than 2 outs, simplifying that process, looking for a pitch. But there's no way that you can go up there looking for a backdoor sweeper on a first pitch with the bases loaded there.
1-1.
So it's just, and that's kind of where Wallner's been at. I mean, you look at so far in this game, he has seen 1 pitch where the entire ball has been in the strike zone, and that's it. Of the 9 pitches he's seen, 1 has been somewhat hittable, and it was that first pitch backdoor sweeper in that last at bat. So when you're struggling, it seems like they're making every pitch on you as well. You're kind of battling a couple of things.
A swing and a drive to right, down the line, turning in the corner, and that's a foul ball. 108 off the bat, just out in front.
And that's what he's kind of the difference between him early and him now, taking those base hits the other way, but then turning on those balls that are in. Does a great job of pulling the hands in. You always know by the contact how you hit it. Now that one just had a little too much hook on it, but now that they go soft away, that they sped him up.
3 on, 2 out. Twins down 1, and Kirby's 1-2 pitch is low. It's away from Raleigh, but the runners hold. Even though Lee struck out in the 2nd inning, he did so swinging. His strikeout rate is still well below league average. And Lee, when he does strike out, rarely is it looking. Jeffers at 3rd, Clemens at 2nd.
Tremendous hand-eye coordination, bat-to-ball skills, as they say now.
In the air to right field, shallow. Raley coming on. It's down, a base hit. 1 run scores, 2 runs will score, and Brooks Lee, with a 2-run single in a shallow right, brings home Jeffers and Clemens, and the Twins have a 2-1 lead.
Got this ball down towards the end of the bat. Not sure if he broke it or not, but 2-strike hit. It all started with that Jeffers making that adjustment with 2 strikes. And this was a changeup. This is the pitch he struck him out on his last at-bat. And you see him kind of throw the hands, keep that barrel in the zone. It was fastball out of the hand, and then he recognized it as he had started his swing, and that is what we're talking about. That's the reason he doesn't strike out. He has the ability to put the ball in play even when he gets fooled or he's out front just a little bit.
0-1, so a key 2-out swing there from Lee, and the Twins have the lead for the first time today. Royce popped out his first time. Royce just 4 for his last 22. Pitch count for Kirby is high. He's approaching 70 pitches here morning in the 4th inning.
Yeah, a lot of deep counts, a lot of 2-strike counts, 3-ball counts. Kind of, Twins are doing a good job of making him work.
While Bradley's at 55 pitches through 4. 0-2 pitch. Royce to left center field. Rosarena and Rodriguez converge, and it's Rodriguez making the play, with Rosarena coming in behind him for out number 3. But Brooks Lee comes up with a 2-out, 2-run swing. He's been good with the bases loaded. Adds to those numbers. 2-1 Twins after 4. Clutch 2-out, 2-run swing from Brooks Lee. Twins have the lead after 4. Taj Bradley back to work here in the 5th. Facing Luke Raley. Second start in this series. Was briefly a Twin in the minor leagues. Luke never reached. This is not Luke Raley. This is Dominic Canzone as Raley made the last out last inning. So we'll go back and talk about Raley later on today. It's a good thing these aren't live. Don't worry about it. Well, they are live.
I've never seen any clips of broadcasters making mistakes.
Never before.
We're fine.
This is a first.
We're
Never.
fine.
But Dominic Canzone, yeah, maybe one day he'll be a Twin. Who knows? Bradley struck out Canzone in the 2nd. And Jeffers will challenge. Curveball. Twins will take a look. And ABS challenges are powered by T-Mobile. Jeffers has been good flipping these into strikes and strikeouts. And again, the top of the zone. Works to Taj's advantage.
And that's that same pitch you got to Rosarena on. That high curveball starts above the zone and then just kind of drops in that top part. And I think one difference is that they're calling that pitch deeper in the zone. It used to be the front of the plate. Now it's where the plate angles back towards home. And 3 strikeouts through 4 with that curveball, one with the split, then add to that another one with the curveball there. And so it's tough if you're Canzone, right? He struck you out on the split the first time. You got that kind of in the back of your mind. And then he drops that curveball in that starts over your head. And I think that's where you see the upside in Taj, and you see where him kind of taking that next step this year. The split, the curveball, having multiple ways to get you out, and then we've seen that fastball all the way up to 98 miles an hour today. A lot of ways to get you.
0-2 on Cole Young. That Wallner been a great running catch, robbing Young of extra bases back in the 3rd inning. To shallow left, and Larnach makes the play for out number 2. The great Rich Hill, long career, briefly a Twin there in 2020, and obviously he was pitching in pre-ABS days, but he would love to throw that curveball with intent at the top of the zone.
And just, he had such a good feel for that pitch. He started off the plate, kind of backdoor to righties.
Sword there from Will Wilson, with his contract selected from AAA Tacoma back on April 20th. First round pick by the Angels in 2019, with Cleveland for a bit last year. His very first big league home run 4 days ago in St. Louis. He's 27 years old. And the 1-1 from Taj. That's hooking foul. Bradley hitting 97 miles an hour on pitch number 65. He's been able to maintain his velo throughout his starts. Two and two.
You think his manager poured beer on his head?
No. I want to say that Shelty pretty unique in that way. What he did with Connor Prelip after the game on Monday night. Check swing and a strikeout. A cutter that time from Bradley. And a 1-2-3 fifth inning with 2 more strikeouts here today. Twins have the lead, and Byron Buxton will lead off the home fifth when we come back.
All right, the only person in this room that hates wasting beer more than me is Taylor Rogers, who finished the game first. Take your hat off. First major league win. Congrats.
Byron Buxton begins the inning with a ground ball to third. And Wilson throws him out. So 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out here, bottom 5. It's a great moment, though. Shelty and that young man, his second big league start, picked up his first major league win here on Monday night against a very good team.
And that was what I was referring to when I was saying I wonder if his manager poured beer on his head after his first major league homer.
That one I picked up on compared to what our buddy Glenn Perkins asked me that random day in spring training about Buxton. That one, it made sense to me. What he asked me then, I had no idea what he was talking about. So thank you for being pretty transparent with where this was going.
No, I'm not going to talk about pants. Oh, I was watching at home. That was great.
0-2. Trevor Larnach. But that's normally part number 1 of the beer shower, right? So you get that from the manager, but then more happens later, right?
Yeah, there's the laundry carts in there, and a lot of time guys will get shoved in the laundry cart. Not shoved, that sounds like hazing, but we get placed in the laundry cart or asked to sit in the laundry cart. And then all kinds of stuff gets dumped on them. And the clubhouse staff usually appreciates if that happens in the shower area, where I've seen like ketchup and all kinds of stuff get just dumped on guys. Why it turned into that, nobody knows. We're just all overgrown children in that room, but having fun and celebrating the moments in a long season, 162 games. You have to make sure you're picking out those moments because they can get lost in time and you get caught up in the length of the season and what everyone's doing. So you got to make sure you recognize those moments like that.
3-2 pitch towards the whole right side, and Larnach is on again. A 2-hit day for Larnach. And the Twins have another single off George Kirby this afternoon.
And all of the singles except for the Keisha one came with 2 strikes. So Twins have done a good job of adjusting with 2 strikes, putting that ball in play, and then hitting them in the right spot. That always helps.
7 hits for the Twins today, all singles. Josh Bell 0 for 2. Now 4 for 9 lifetime against Kirby. Fouled back at 95. Kirby from Rye, New York. First round pick. An all-star a couple of years ago. Chance to get 2 here. Young to second for 1, and Crawford indeed completes the double play. Second double play turned by the Mariners today.
Then I realized.
Minnesota Twins baseball is presented by Delta. From Twins territory to the world, Delta, official airline of the Minnesota Twins. Twins lead by 1. Top of the order for Josh Bradley. And the lone run so far he has allowed came against the guy hitting. J.P. Crawford on a low breaking ball. Homered out to right. And both of his home runs now this season have come against curveballs.
Not a terrible pitch. I mean, down and away. Jeffers' glove was going all the way down towards the dirt. Looked like he was even thinking about kind of picking that ball off the ground. And It's exactly what Crawford did. To be able to pull that ball in the air with some authority was impressive. Good pitch. Really good pitch. Now you got him. You're in his mind of, okay, something spinning towards my back foot. Does he go to the split here? Do he elevate with the fastball at 98 above the zone?
Now 2-2. Crawford in an interesting spot right now. He's a free agent at season's end, and the Mariners have an outstanding prospect whom they've already signed to big money, currently in the minor leagues, in Colt Emerson. And Emerson short third base, but he projects to be the long-term fixture at short for Seattle for years to come. 3-2 from Bradley, and that misses high, ball 4.
Jeffers thought about challenging. Let's take a look at this double play again. So as a runner at first base, you're telling yourself, if it's hit short, I have to stop and not let the second baseman tag you. So as he's coming, Larnach has that little thought of don't let him tag me, and then Young makes the right decision. Instead of chasing that runner, not getting the double play, as that ball's on its way, he's reading the runner, he's reading the ground ball, and then he makes that flip so they're able to turn 2 there. But that all happens before the pitch is even thrown.
98 for a strike on Cal Raleigh. A walk and a ground out today. 1 for 10 so far in this series. The lone hit a home run here on Monday night. Here's the 0-1 from Bradley.
And this is where the stuff really matters as a starting pitcher, facing that lineup for a third time. How many weapons do you have? How many ways do you have to get them out? Out of the bullpen, all right, I got a good curveball, I can use that and I'm done. They're not going to see it again. But as a starter, you have to have multiple ways to get these big league hitters out. And from what we've seen from Taj with that split, that cutter, that curveball, and then a plus fastball, he has the weapons, he has the ability, and he's been given that opportunity in the Twins uniform to run some higher pitch counts than he has in the past. We've seen him go up near 100 most of his starts, even over 100 a couple of times. So there's some trust happening there, but also almost like a different philosophy of, hey, I'm going to let you do it until you prove you can't, instead of me assuming that you're not going to be able to pitch deep in this game. Go out there and figure it out. Learn how to do it. Learn how to navigate that lineup a third time.
Well, 3-1. Had this note as the series began on Monday night that Twins starters this season averaging nearly 90 pitches thrown per outing. Starters alone. Third highest of any team in the game, behind the Giants and the Dodgers. Dangerous count to a dangerous hitter. And that's on the outside corner for now, but Raleigh will challenge.
Good time to challenge in a swing count where you could end up on first base.
Was a strike, and the Mariners are down to 1.
See, I think after this happens, now it's out of your head. You're not concerned about the at-bat. You're not going, all right, should I have challenged that, or he wrecked my at-bat, or that ball was off, I know it was off, and you kind of play this game in your head as you're standing there as a hitter. Now that that's in the past, now you know that, okay, that was a strike, it's confirmed, I got to move on to the next pitch. Sometimes it can hang around and affect the rest of your at-bat, and I think that is one benefit that the hitters like. Okay, I'm in control of my at-bat, I don't agree with you. Oh, I was wrong. That is a strike, now I have to move on.
So Crawford's moving here, 3-2 count, nobody out. He stays, and the pitch fouled back. There's 99.
Yeah, when you're a guy who hit 60 last year, you're getting that opposing guy's best stuff. You're getting his best fastball. He's trying to snap off that nastiest curveball he's got.
3-2 pitch to left, deep but playable for Larnach. Let's see him set the feet, catch is made, and Crawford stays put at first base as Larnach quickly fires it back in. So Bradley fell behind, retires Raleigh, so 1 down. Last call to get the triple play bundle. Build your own game plan. Buy 2 games and get the third one for free. Get yours right now at twins.com/triple play bundle. But hurry, offer ends tomorrow.
Kind of back to that point about as Jeffers takes a mound visit. it's something that we're going to have to track or see what's available as the year goes along, as compared to stats of when a hitter loses his challenge. Does that free him up? Does that actually improve? It seems like, I know, because when you're looking for it, it seems like it happens every time. All right, don't think about a pink elephant, and now all of a sudden a pink elephant's in your head. It's like, okay, he challenged and then he got a hit. How many? It feels like we've seen a lot of those where the hitter's challenge, he loses the challenge, but at least it puts the rest of that at bat in the past and then finds a way to get a hit. It seems like it happens more often than not. It's something we'll have to track as the year goes along to see if that's true or not, but just kind of watching, it seems like it from what I've seen.
Rodriguez laces it to left field. Larnach will make the play. Well, that hung up longer than I thought. A sinking line drive off the bat at 110. And Rodriguez with a rocket, but out number 2.
Are you kidding me? 110 off the bat, and you know, if he hits it 95, it falls in front of Larnach out there, but because he hit it so hard, it just hung up. And originally off the bat, Larnach looked like he was thinking about having a dive, and it just stayed about waist high the entire way. And that's a swing you're walking back, trying to convince yourself not to do anything different the next time you walk up there, because everything you did right, it didn't work out in your favor, but it was good.
Curveball outside to Josh Naylor, ball 1. Thinking more about the challenge and from the catcher side of things. And Ryan Jeffers, very smart retention too, about, okay, hey, Raleigh challenged as a batter and this was a strike. Let's remember that.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't know that part of the strike zone. Maybe that's a spot we can go back to. Maybe he's not comfortable. You know, every hitter has a spot or a part of the plate, or most hitters do, where they feel like they see the ball better. Whether it's, I know the inside corner to a 1/10 of an inch, or I know the outside corner, I know where the top of my zone is, the bottom of my zone is, wherever there's parts where you're a little more confident. And I think also with the way the strike zone's being called, with those top corners of the zone, bottom corners of the zone.
Strike 1 on Naylor on a 2-0 splitter. Naylor 0 for 2 today. He's popped out twice. Crawford leadoff walk, still at first base. To center and shallow. And Buxton all over this one. And good job, Taj Bradley. Works her on a leadoff walk. And the Twins maintain the lead coming up bottom 6.
It's our legacy, powered by you.
Welcome back. Twins lead by 1. Time now for today's Jeep standings, and we take a look at the WRC Plus leaders across the baseball landscape this season. You see at the bottom, what does this stat mean? Measures total offensive production for your team and yourself, and 100 is league average. And you see Alvarez 223, Rice 215, Muncy, Judge, and Olsen leading the way in WRC Plus so far this season, with 100 being league average. Twins lead by 1, bottom 6, and Ryan Jeffers singled and scored back in the Twins' 2-run 4th.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. Cal almost caught that ball, the foul ball, off the ground.
Oh, 2, and now we'll go back to Jeffers and this 2-strike approach. And watch the feet and the hands here.
It's the adjustment. Spread out up the handle just a little bit. Cal kind of fixing that area. Jeffers kind of pounded that into the ground, and then you end up with a divot there. And then when that ball, if he throws a breaking ball in the dirt, the split in the dirt, if it hits that divot, kicks one way or the other, and Cal maybe doesn't, it affects the way that ball comes off the ground. So I think that's what ground repair he was doing. There's Jeffers choking up.
And this time Jeffers could not hold back on the breaking ball from Kirby. And 5th strikeout for the Mariners starter. And out number 1 here in the Twins' 6th.
Well, we were expecting to see good pitching matchups throughout this series, and that's what we've had. Starters both the last 2 nights from both sides throwing the ball really well. Low-scoring games heading into the later innings. And Kirby's been good. Taj has been really good.
Cody Clemens has been on twice today. That's a fair ball down the right field line. Off the sidewalk, Cody on his way to second base, and he'll make it standing. Not much movement there from Josh Naylor at first base, and Clemens on for the third time. Has his second hit, and the Twins have a big insurance run in scoring position.
It's good clean living right here. Ball below the zone, kind of pounded it into the ground, and somehow stayed fair with that top spin, and then good soft kick off the wall, able to cruise in a second.
Keyshaw 1 for 2 today. Twins have had base runners every inning against Kirby this afternoon. Mariners bullpen going to work. Jose Ferrer and Edward Bizardo. Bizardo threw in the game last night. Oh, 2. Twins have yet to win a one-run game this season. They're 0-4 so far in games decided by a single tally.
Well, may as well win by 5 then.
Be great. And Keyshaw strikes out, and he will challenge. He's not been very good challenging as a hitter. Let's see if he wins this one. It looked to be outside, and it was. Good challenge there from Keyshaw.
All right, here's my theory.
Okay.
A little different with 2 strikes, but challenges a pitch. It's off the plate. He feels like he's still in control of his at-bat. He's able to move on to the next one. And I think the other thing it does, obviously it would have ended the at-bat, but it lets you know where the edge of the zone, and it confirms what your thought is. Okay, that is a ball that is off the plate. So if it starts out there, I see it again, I know exactly where the edge of that strike zone is. Now does he go? Sweeper's been a good pitch for him today. Does he start something? Does he go strike to ball with the sweeper here? Does he start it kind of down the middle and then see if he can get a chase off the outside corner? He's thrown a couple of backdoor sinkers, really good pitches out there.
So Clemens stretching out the legs, hoping to be on the move here. Keyshaw, Kirby. Righty to righty. The 2-2 pitch. Full count.
Change up.
Good take.
Really good take.
At Wallner on deck. Three-two pitch, lofted to left center. And Rodriguez makes the play, and Clemens holds. And there are 2 down. Now this season, Byron Buxton became the 14th player ever to reach 10 years of service as a member of the Twins. And to celebrate, we are offering you 4 tickets for just $25 to come out and cheer Byron on. And the Twins take advantage of this limited time offer at twins.com/tickets. Pete Woodworth, pitching coach, out to chat with Kirby. And Dan Wilson will stick with Kirby to see Wallner. Matt is 0 for 2 today. I wonder if Keyshaw reached there. Does Wilson then go to his bullpen?
It's tough. 90 pitches. If he doesn't get it out, probably. Now he's got 2. We've got a base open.
I think that's the answer right there. That Ferrer sat down.
Yeah.
0-1. I think Ferrer was coming in to face Wallner. I think that's the evidence right there that the lefty now is down and just the righty's up.
But had they done that, more than likely the Twins would have countered with Austin Martin, with how much Wally's been struggling recently. So we get the matchup for the third time.
And Wallner will challenge.
Batter challenging the call of a strike.
It's a backdoor sweeper, what he started him off the last at-bat with. Sort of coupled in this at-bat.
Call on the field is confirmed. Minnesota has one challenge remaining.
Dave Wallner now has challenged 5 times as a hitter. He's only been successful once. Now 6 times, so 1 and 5 for Matt as a hitter. And down 0-2.
He kind of slowed him down, slowed him down, slowed him down. 3 sweepers to start the at-bat. Be surprised to see him elevate a fastball above the zone here, try to get up under his hands. Also could go to the changeup, something moving in a different direction.
Clemens at second, 2 down. The 1-2 inside. At 97, so velocity still there for both starters late today. And Bradley, he's coming back out for the 7th.
Kind of yanked it, missed his spot right there. Trying to go up and left it down in the zone. That's a dangerous spot for Wallner. We've seen him drop the barrel on those and hit him about 420 feet to right field in the past. Pitch called a ball.
Now Kirby fires 2-2. And Wallner stays alive. And blue skies and sunshine earlier, now overcast skies hovering over the ballpark. Three and 2. Switch hitting Brooks Lee on deck if Wallner can prolong the inning.
A lot of sweepers in this at-bat. Started him off. Sweepers backdoor. We go to here 3-2.
7th pitch coming up, and Wallner takes low ball 4. Nice plate appearance there for Wallner. Came back down 0-2 and draws a walk. And Dan Wilson wants Brooks Lee to face a new arm. So Wallner is on. The righty Bizzardo is coming in, and a pitching change upcoming here from Target Field. So the Twins chase Kirby here in the 6th. Lead by 1, 2 on, 2 out when we come back.
The lineup at
Time now for today's injury update delivered by Postman Law. The Tigers lost both Javier Baez and Casey Mize in last night's 5-2 loss to Atlanta. And both will undergo MRIs today. A.J. Hinch said postgame last night, ankle for Baez and a groin injury for Mize. Edward Bizzardo is on to face Brooks Lee. 2 on, 2 out, Twins by 1. And the Twins have the lead because of this man's swing back in the 4th inning as the Twins get their second look at Bizzardo.
One of the rare pitchers coming out of the bullpen in today's game that throws 2 pitches. He's got a good sinker, and then he's got that sweeper that he threw first pitch right there. Loves to work arm side.
Ground ball back to Bizzardo. Underhand flip and Naylor. Little hop at the end. Comes down to the bag, and the inning is over. Now, Taj Bradley so far through 6 innings, Morty, 15 whiffs and counting for Taj this afternoon.
The stuff has been electric. He's been able to land that curveball. He's been able to throw with 2 strikes. The cutter also has been very good. Just a tough mix to match up with. And then overpowering velocity. We saw 98 multiple times in the Cal Raleigh, his last at bat. The more you watch him pitch, the more you kind of see him grow before your eyes and also appreciate how good his stuff really is.
0-2, and talking earlier, Morty, about able to maintain velocity, if not gain a little bit more deep into his starts, happening here. Yeah, Bradley, look at that pitch count here today. He's at 89. Already 3 starts this season with 100 pitches or more. The only starters that have 3 starts or more of 100 pitches this season, Taj, Tyler Glasnow, and Dylan Cease. Nobody has 4. And Bradley could be the first to hit that number. 4 starts or more this early with 100 pitches or more.
Well, you hear it so often from starters, hey, I want to be able to pitch deeper into the game. I want the opportunity to pitch deeper in the game. Well, these guys are getting that opportunity, and man, does he look good.
Spikes the curveball, ball 1 to Arozarena, who's 0 for 2 today. Taj today his 3rd home start of the season. He came in with a home ERA in the low 2s. Raley on deck, and then Canzone. No swing. And not a guy you want to walk with his speed. 7 stolen bases to lead the Mariners, so a big 3-2 pitch upcoming for Bradley.
Yeah, so many reasons. 1-run ball game, leadoff walks are. Avoid them as much as you can.
To right, and should be playable for Wallner. It will be. Plenty of room.
When you have 97 in your back pocket, you need a strike. You can reach back and challenge that hitter. That's exactly what he did. Nice job by Taj of keeping that leadoff hitter off base.
So 1 down for Raley. I was about to tell this great tale about Raley and his ties to the Twins, but then he wasn't batting. So now let's bring it back to Raley. Came to the Twins in the Brian Dozier trade. When Dozier went to the Dodgers, Twins received Devin Smeltzer, Logan Forsythe, and Luke Raley. And Raley reached as high as AAA with the Twins, but never the big leagues because he went back to LA. And the deal that brought Kenta Maeda and Jair Camargo to the Twins in 2020. And Raley and Brusdar Graterol went back to the Dodgers in that trade. But here's a guy that has really found a home in Seattle. And 99 from Bradley.
A little hop off the mound, showing a little life, fired up. Man, he is throwing the ball really well today. I mean, even the pitch that J.P. Crawford hit it for a home run was not a bad pitch. It was a curveball down and away that Jeffers was reaching to pick off the dirt. This is reminiscent of all those starts that he had before that last one where he gave up 4 homers.
And Taj, being the competitor that he is, I bet he couldn't wait to get the ball after, giving up the 4 home runs to some former teammates. When is my turn? I want the ball again, happening here today.
And it's almost like he senses this is probably going to be his last inning. Kind of empty in the tank right here. I don't know, this is a sign of a guy who's got an elite arm and a guy who looks like he has the desire to pitch at the top of the rotation. You kind of start smelling that finish line and you still have a few pitches left in you. That's a good sign.
So Anthony Bonda warming up, and the Mariners have lefty Cole Young on deck. So this is likely Taj's last man regardless. Outstanding efficiency inning by inning for Taj here today. 18 in the first, 18 in the 6th. Line to right, towards the corner, and a fair ball. It's off the wall. Canzone on his way to second base. Wallner's throw is just offline. Pulled Lee off the bag, and Canzone slides in safely. And it's a 2-out double.
Yeah, it's a weapon. Canzone, you can tell, was reminding himself that he better get going because that's an elite arm in right field. You assume you hit a ball in the corner like that, should be an easy stand-up double, but it kicked. Wally got his feet in a great position and just yanked that throw a little bit. I think it's on the mark. He maybe has him.
And Pete Mackey's coming out, so Taj will see one more batter, and left-handed hitting Cole Young 0 for 2 today is coming up. So a lot to process here with Young batting and the tying run at second base. First, let's kick off fishing season with your very own Twins fishing lure. Saturday, May 2nd, the first 10,000 fans at the ballpark receive a Twin City Connect branded fishing lure presented by Rapala. Don't let this one get away. Should be a fun crowd, good atmosphere. Get your tickets today at twins.com/tickets. We're getting ready. It's almost here. Almost here. TC Bear fishing opener in sight. Right now, we're locked in on this matchup here, Mornio. So Taj Bradley stays in to see Young. First base open. And right-handed hitting Will Wilson on deck. So how do the Twins approach Young here?
I think this is Taj. If he can get a quality strike one right here, work from in front in this at-bat.
Splitter, strike one.
Really good pitch. Just strike to ball. I mean, that ball fading away, was in the zone a long time. Now you're in the driver's seat to get him to swing at your pitch the rest of the at-bat if you can.
One ball, one strike. It was this inning last night. Cole Young batting and put the Mariners on top with a 2-out RBI single of Cody Funderburg. Now 1-2.
This is the hurry up and throw it. The light just changed. This is something I read in the Ted Williams book of hitting 20 years ago. We've talked about when it goes from cloudy to bright, how your eyes, it takes a little bit to adjust. Which there was so many deep thoughts in that book that I think every hitter should read at some point. We talk about this a lot. Day games when it's bright, completely different than day games when it's cloudy, and kind of going in and out of that bright and dark. Let's see if Tosh can use it to his advantage and get him to swing at something out of the zone here.
Tying run at second, 1-2 on Cole Young. Bradley ready. And buried and blocked by Jeffers on a curveball.
Really good block. How far out front of that plate that ball hit, and the way the spin hits the ground on that curveball, kicks back in the opposite direction of the ball way it's breaking. Jeffers just gets that chest protector angled down towards the ground and kind of smothers that ball and lands right at his feet. You teach it, that's how you would teach it right there.
Now the 2-2 pitch. That's foul down the right side. Pitch number 106 from Bradley. That ties a season high. 106 pitches today. Also 106 in Toronto on April 12th. Both career highs.
Why not set the career high on a punch out right here?
7 strikeouts, 2 walks for Bradley.
They go to that curveball above the zone and try and get it to drop in here.
Some trust from Shelty. And the 2-2 pitch to left center field. Buxton racing over, still going, and it's over his head. Canzone scores, and Young splits the gap in left center. Back-to-back doubles and a 2-2 game.
You got a 2-2 fastball. Just went with a pitch. I said it last night. He's going to be a problem in the AL West for a while. He can hit. Buck thought maybe he had a chance to run this thing down, but it just kept, from a left-handed batter, it's going to keep tailing away from that center fielder as it heads toward that gap.
And now Will Wilson. As Bradley will hit the reset button here against the Seattle third baseman. 0 for 2 today, 1 for 4 so far this season. Just his second game with Seattle. 1-1. Each team with 1 ABS challenge remaining. One and 2. Young, the go-ahead run at second. Twins coming up in their half of the 7th will have Lewis, Buxton, and Larnach 9-1 and 2. And Pizzardo will come back out and pitch for Seattle.
Continuing to attack that strike zone. They gave up the game tying double, hasn't shied away from it. Going right at him. We'd love to end it here.
Pitch number 113 on the way from Bradley. Wilson signed as a minor league free agent with the Mariners in January. Young, the game tying double. He's at second. Grounded to short, and Brooks Lee throws him out to end the inning. A strong start from Taj, but the Mariners tied up as we stretch.
All right, Tim.
All tied up in downtown Minneapolis as we look at our Toyota game summary. This afternoon, it was the Mariners on the board first thanks to J.P. Crawford and his solo homer in the third frame. Brooks Lee, though, would answer with a two-run single in the fourth, giving the Twins the lead up until just a few minutes ago where Cole Young was able to get another one across the plate. So we are 2-2 heading into the bottom of the seventh, guys.
Audra, thank you. And Bizzardo got the last out of the sixth and back out for the seventh as Taj Bradley and Pete Mackey go over a strong day on the mound for Taj. We'll see if the Twins can still give him a win today. Can't lose it. Lewis, Buxton, and Larnach in the seventh in this 2-2 game. Royce has popped out and flied out today. 1 for 6 in this series. Sinker did not come back. 2-1. Bizzardo, a member of the championship WBC Venezuelan team. Two and two. It's Mariners bullpen, much like the rotation, lowest walk rate of any pen in the game. Always trying to find his way out. Up the middle, and there's the start. Took that sinker right up the middle, 100 miles an hour off the bat. And Lewis is on to begin the seventh inning.
Another single for the Twins with 2 strikes. Not sure if that was about frustration about earlier pitches in that bat or what, with a little emphasis when he threw that bat down. But good to see traffic for Byron Buxton, who's been swinging the bat well on the power side, hitting home runs recently.
He is 1 for 3 today. As the sweeper misses down low for ball 1. Byron 4 hits in the series. 2 of those 4 hits home runs. To short. Second for 1. The return from Young, and Byron beat it. That is some kind of speed right there, because that is about the only way you're going to double up Byron Buxton. It was 108 off the bat, right to Crawford, and still Byron beat the throw back from Young.
Yeah, he fumbled it a little bit. It was hit so hard that it kind of came up on him at the end. He never got a clean grip on it to give him that feed right away, and that, with his speed, was the difference between him being safe and out. Buck hard out of the box, wanting to beat this.
Pitch and change upcoming here at Target Field. The lefty Jose Ferrer coming in to see Larnach. Welcome back. Don't miss a pitch all season long right here with Twins TV. You can stream all games throughout Twins territory without blackouts, live or on demand for the entire 2026 regular season. Subscribe right now at twins.tv. We have a 2-2 game. Buxton at first base, 1 out. Larnach spot due up. Morty, he will not bat. Instead, it's going to be Austin Martin hitting for Larnach as the Mariners bring in lefty Jose Ferrer.
Yeah, interesting because lefties have actually hit Ferrer better, but with the at-bats that Austin Martin has taken this year, especially against left-handed pitching, you're going to give him an opportunity here. And I'm sure Larnach wanted this at-bat, as you want every one of them as a hitter, but go with the team move here. See if Buck takes off, see if he can get a jump.
First throw over from Ferrer. Austin Martin has been an on-base machine so far this season. Not starting here today. Martin leads the team in walks. His on-base percentage at .488, and that leads the game amongst players with at least 75 plate appearances. Outside, and Martin brought up the arm. Thought that might go to the helmet. Did not.
Thought about it.
1-2 on a pitch that looked to be outside. Twins have one challenge left. In the air to right and shallow. And now Raley back a step or two. He's got it for out number 2. And it's up to Josh Bell, who's 0 for 3 today. Bell hitting right-handed this season, average almost .290. An OPS over .780. Of his 3 home runs, 1 has come from this side of the plate. Sinker by him at 97. And that's what this Mariners bullpen features: righties, lefties, sinkers, and plenty of velocity.
Yeah, that one beat him in zone. Some life on that pitch. He's got a ton of run on it. Let's see him turn that changeup over. Pretty similar pitch shape. That sinker, that changeup, kind of moving the same way. Obviously, just different velocity, separated by about 10 miles an hour.
There's the changeup, 1-2. Ferrer came to the Mariners in a trade with Washington for catching prospect Harry Ford and right-handed pitcher Isaac Lyon in early December. 1-2 on Bell. Buxton at first base, 2 down in this 2-2 game. Mariners have the top of the order coming up in the 8th. Now 3-2. As you see, Raleigh kind of motion to his teammates. Tosh Bradley.
Ferrer, very low walk rate. They're anticipating something around the plate here. Naylor holding Buxton on at first. Trying not to let him get a walking lead, not to get too big of a jump where he could score on a ball in the gap. The right-handed hitter up there, a little easier thing to do. Whole right side of the field's open.
3-2 and a foul tip hung on to by Raleigh. 98 from Ferrer. And the Twins strand Buxton. 2-2, 8th inning when we come back. Minnesota Twins baseball is presented by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Tight ball game late today, 2-2. New pitcher on for the Twins, lefty Anthony Bonda, to see the top of this Mariners lineup: Crawford, Raleigh, and Rodriguez.
He's been doing a better job of filling up that strike zone. 2 walks in his last 10 appearances. You know, it's being able to work from in front. He's going to have to find a way to come back here.
1-1.
High ground ball rate. He's been doing a good job of getting that ball on the ground. Slower start, colder weather earlier in the year, but he's a good job of looking better recently.
Showing bunt, pulling it back. You saw Austin Martin now playing left field after batting for Larnach a moment ago. Crawford, lefty on left, is 2 for 20 this season. Strike 2. A shrug there from Crawford. The Mariners do have a challenge left, and that was a good pitch right on the corner. Bonda's 2-2. Raleigh on deck. And the dreaded leadoff walk. And I say this a lot, Morty, and I don't have any data to point to, but it just, to me, the eye test, the field test, that when a batter reaches late in the game a leadoff walk compared to a leadoff hit, it just seems like that guy ends up scoring more often.
Yeah, it's like make you pay. Maybe it's just because we're more aware of it.
0-1 on Raleigh. Raleigh 0 for 2 with a walk drawn today. Crawford's been on 3 times this afternoon as Bonda throws over. As Morty mentioned, Bonda does possess good ground ball numbers. Could use that right here. Ripped foul near the tarp. It's 110 off the bat, 0-2 now on Raleigh. Raleigh this season against left-handed pitching only has 6 hits. He's hitting 194 against lefties. With 1 home run. Low batting average overall this season, but the power numbers, they're improving day by day for Cal Raleigh. Check swing, and he went. Slider from Bonda, big out there. And Raleigh's retired.
And now all 12 of his strikeouts this season have come on that slider. That's a pitch he loves to go to. It's got a ton of movement side to side. Cal unable to hold his swing.
So 1 away for Rodriguez, who's 1 for 3 today. Hit it hard last time up and lined out to Larnach in left. Slider, strike 1. Rodriguez, the only player in Major League Baseball history to have 110 home runs or more and 110 stolen bases or more over his first 4 big league seasons.
Impressive, especially the fact that that's a pitcher's park they play in.
We were here for his Major League debut, April 2022. Crawford short lead as Bonda throws over. Remember, the disengagements, they do change. They do reset after each batter. So that was number 1 for Crawford. Eric Orsi up in the Twins pen. Slicing foul. Clemens, no play. Now 2-2. Josh Naylor on deck. Two and two in a 2-2 game. That was just the third changeup that Bond has thrown all year to a righty.
Hit in the middle of the lineup, you see something a little different. Find a way to get him out with something, get him off balance. And then right back to that slider where he's got all of his strikeouts this season on.
Bond has said that the Dodgers really helped him find that slider. Part of the Dodgers' back-to-back World Championship teams. And Bond beginning his motion, time granted by Dexter Kelly, and Rodriguez moonwalks out of the batter's box. Crawford still at first. And again, Bond is 2-2. We'll do it again. Look out down the right side.
Yeah, either maybe he's not interested in running or he's looking to get a walking lead or can't get a read on him, but that's about as short as lead I've seen somebody take at first base in a while.
It's about the best velocity we've seen this season, too, from Bonda, reaching 96. Had him reaching, and he pops it up. Matt Wallner makes the play for out number 2. So Bonda retires Rodriguez, Naylor to bat. We look ahead to Toronto. 4-game series begins here tomorrow night. Bailey Over has been fantastic. He'll have the ball for the Twins in game 1. Kevin Gausman. For the Jays, Corbin and Sim on Friday. Cease and Prelip Saturday. With Savage and Ryan to wrap up the homestand on Sunday.
A little breakfast game on Sunday. Not quite like the days in the Metrodome when we used to play at 11 a.m. before the Gophers played football, but we get your coffee early.
Now Josh Naylor. So 2 down. A lefty-lefty matchup here for Bonda. Naylor 0 for 3 as the sunshine returns. 0-2. Overcast, and then just as Bonda got the ball back from Jeffers, the sunshine came back out. Matt Brash up in the Seattle pen.
Don't worry, Perk. The Shadows will be here soon.
0-2 on Naylor. Now Naylor this season against lefties, just 4 hits, 4 for 26. Struck him out swinging with a slider. So Bonda, the leadoff walk to Crawford, strikes out Raleigh, strikes out Naylor. Nice job by Bonda. Twins coming up. Twins baseball is powered by MLB.
The lineup at...
Let's take a look at our upcoming schedule, brought to you by Progressive. Tomorrow night, a new series kicks off here at Target Field. It's a 4-game set against the visiting Toronto Blue Jays. On Tuesday, it's back to interleague action as the Twins head to Washington. And then a division foe, 3-game set to wrap up that road trip against the Cleveland Guardians. Guys?
Audra, thanks. It'll be the Twins' first look at the Guardians here this season. But right now, we lock in on a 2-2 game. Bottom 8, Ryan Jeffers facing Matt Brash, who the Twins saw last night. And 0-1 on Jeffers.
Through an inning, had a couple of strikeouts. He has been very, very tough to hit, as you see with that ERA, the whip, not allowing many base runners at all. That slider before the sinker, change up, 4-seam, but way over that third base side of the rubber. A lower arm slot, kind of a misfire there. Yeah, I was wondering there if he got hurt on that pitch. That's going to bring the trainer out of the dugout. It's going to bring Dan Wilson out of the dugout. That, for a guy who's been as dialed in as he is, that was a pretty big misfire. Hopefully it was just a loss of grip, but I don't know.
Brash last season did not allow a run over his first 19 appearances, setting a franchise record for most consecutive scoreless appearances to begin a season.
Winces kind of after he throws this.
Looks like Dan Wilson is doing the majority of the talking here. Now, Seattle is just getting lefty Gabe Spire up in the bullpen. Now there from Wilson.
Usually if there's any question or any doubt, they're coming out. I'm surprised this conversation is going on this long. Either way, there was going to be a delay if he was coming out of the game. So unfortunate he's going to leave.
I hate to see that. Big power arm departs here in the 8th inning. So a pitching change upcoming with Jeffers at the plate, still tied at 2. And Gabe Spire coming in. Well, he won't earn a decision here today, but Taj Bradley was magnificent morning here, game 3 of this series.
Yeah, the stuff was good today. Pitched better than sitting there waiting for a no decision, but curveball was good, cutter was good, fastball velocity was all the way up to 99. Split was good as well. Just a lot of ways to get you out. He pitched deep into this game, was able to complete 7 innings, battled his way through, especially at the end. 30 pitches in that last inning to fight his way all the way up to 114.
Most by a Twin starter since Kenta Maeda threw 115 back in his dominant 2020 season. And Bradley becomes the first starter in the game this year to throw 100 pitchers or more 4 times already this season. So an injury forcing Matt Brash to leave this game, and Gabe Spire will be given ample time to warm up. Did see the Twins last night throwing a scoreless 7th inning.
He's got good stuff. It's a tough matchup. Numbers are good against lefties. Only 5 for 21 on the season. 4-seam sinker, slider, mainly occasional changeup, but a little lower arm slot, kind of pretty tough matchup.
Spire last night retired Larnach, Martin, and Bell in order. So Jeffers did not see him last night. The lefty Cody on deck. So if we get word from the Mariners clubhouse as to why Matt Brash left this game, we'll certainly pass it along to you. Twins looking to win this series. Haven't won a series since they took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox on the previous homestand. Wrapping up this series today, and then the Blue Jays coming to town for 4 tomorrow night. And again, hope you join us for Twins pregame starting at 6 o'clock and a fun 10 Club Pearl Jam conversation between myself, Morty, and Derek Shelton, going over some of our favorite memories, moments, songs. Time with Ed and the gang. All coming up on the pregame show here tomorrow. Now, we did throw around who's the biggest fan.
I think
they
it's
get
you.
resolved. Find out tomorrow.
I don't know. I think it's you, but
thank you. The manager disagrees, but he's wrong.
Well, you're the only one who's got the Pearl Jam tracker. When they leave different countries, you get the alerts on your phone.
I do. I do.
I don't know if that officially makes you the biggest fan. But
1-2 on Ryan Jeffers. Jeffers singled and scored back in the 2-run fourth. Twins haven't scored since. Now 3-2.
This falls in the category of broadcasters not knowing their own questions, but I think because he came in and it was a 1-1 count, no part of this at bat can go back on Brash.
Line to left center field, a base hit for Jeffers. Rodriguez hustling over, cuts it off, and Jeffers will hang on with a leadoff single. That was 112 off the bat. So the go-ahead run is on here in the 8th inning.
And he continues to hit with 2 strikes. This one, solid contact. Looked like he was thinking 2 out of the box. This one, middle of the plate. But the angle Julio takes to this ball in center field is perfect. He gets deeper as he chases it to be able to cut it off, get around it, and then put on the brakes and make a good throw and hold Jeffers up.
And he comes out of the game, better speed, James Outman. On a pinch run for Jeffers here in the 8th inning. Leadoff man is on. Cody Clemens has been on 3 times today. A rare at bat, lefty on left for Cody this season. Outman runs, pitches a strike, go to second base, and Outman is safe. Sliding feet first, and he ran at a breaking ball.
Well, this is the second time he's come off the bench this season and stolen a base. Done a great job of being prepared, ready for the situation. And just going first move. Pretty good throw, too.
Clemens showing bunt and pulls it back, and a little delayed strike and a challenge here from Clemens.
Batter showing the call of a strike.
It looked to be in the zone, watching it live, and it was, and the Twins are out.
Call on the field is confirmed. Minnesota is out of challenges.
Cody looking down at the sign from Ramon Borrego, seeing if he's getting the bunt again, even though he has 2 strikes. Or if it's a slider off the plate, as he knows he's trying to pull the ball to get him over.
Cody 2 for 9 against left-handed pitching this season. And that'll get fouled.
That was not, I don't think, where he wanted to throw that baseball. Fastball, hittable fastball for Clemens there. Nice job of fouling it off.
Now Spire stares Outman back towards second base. He was in New York last week. Clemens bunted up the first base line, moving Outman to third base on a play that Mark Vientos came in at first and threw to third base late. It was a sharp bunt, not a great bunt, but it worked. And the Mets took a chance and tried to get Outman, and they were unsuccessful. One-two pitch fouled back.
Battle. It's good that if his breaking ball is going to be over the plate, that's kind of where it's got to start, in, off, or to end up in the zone, keeping it alive.
Another 2-strike swing there just to stay alive, get a piece of it, and we'll see one more here from Spire. The lens of Bryce Hemmelgarn, Twins photographer, to Cody Clemens. Now 2-2.
Putting together a good at bat. I think sometimes as a hitter it can be frustrating. You go up there, you know what your job was. It was to lay down a bunt, get that runner over if you can. Once he got to 2 strikes, he started battle mode. He's just trying to fight his way through it and still be productive.
Struck him out. 95 from Spire. So lengthy at bat, but Clemens unable to advance Outman. And there is out number 1. And now Keyshaw.
Just good carry on this fastball. Just stayed up above the barrel of Clemens. Mound visit coming. Wallner on deck. You got the righty Keishel in the box. Want to make sure they're on the same page. How do they want to attack and what do they want to do here? I like to see this.
As the Mariners meet Morty on the mound here, also the Twins gather up near the third base bag. James Outman chatting with Grady Sizemore and Ramon Borrego here, and Sizemore doing most of the talking here.
And Grady's the guy who does a ton of the homework on the base, on the pitchers. Is there some way we can run on these guys? Is there a tell? Is there a count? Is there something we can pick up and take advantage of them and find your way to third base if you're Outman? So both base coaches involved in that meeting, whether it was anticipating something or looking for something specific.
Here's Keishel, and strike one. Jeffers singled. Outman came in a pinch run, stole second. Clemens struck out, and now Keishel. 1-1. See Victor Caratini come in and catch the ninth inning. Pulled foul.
Well, you wonder if the move then, if Wallner's out there, do you send Caratini up to hit, and then you send Outman to the outfield and kind of get to make two moves there at once without, and then maybe you get yourself an at-bat you like. It depends on what Keishel does here.
Spire stares Outman back towards second base. Twins do not have a stolen base of third as a team yet this season. Outman stays the 1-2, and Keishel strikes out. So two big strikeouts from Spire, and Matt Wallner's spot due up, and now we'll see that Caratini switch here in place of Wallner. So Riley and Spire meet on the mound as Caratini looking to break out of it here. Caratini 0 for his last 15. Sitting on 498 lifetime hits. So Derek Shelton has worked in his bench here in these later innings with Martin, Outman, and now Caratini all entering somehow, some way. So Wallner lifted for the switch hitting Caratini. Two down, 2-2. Mariners will have Arozarena, Raley, and Canzone due up in the ninth. Ground ball left side in the hole. It's by Crawford into left field. Here comes Outman heading home, and he will score. A pinch hit, go-ahead run-scoring single from Victor Caratini, and the Twins have a 3-2 lead.
And once again, it started with Jeffers, a two-strike hit, and then Derek Shelton pushing the right button, sending out a pinch runner. Outman steals the base, and then with his speed, he's able to score on this ball that was hitting a perfect spot. And that's how you break out of your Caratini. Come off the rack, find a hole, get the crowd fired up, get the boys on the bench fired up.
Crawford could not smother it, and once it got by him, Outman scored easily. And Victor Caratini, career base hit number 499, snaps an 0-15 and puts his team on top here in the eighth.
And the Brash injury having an impact there. Twins are able to set up those right-handed hitters.
Check swing, and Lee went. And it's 0-2. Twins taking the lead doesn't change the bullpen plans. Eric Orsi looks like he will have a chance to save it in the 9th inning. Blocked by Raleigh. James Outman using his legs, speed, and the Caratini at bat. And the Twins have the lead. Dumped into right field, slicing, fair ball. Caratini on his way to third. Brooks Lee with a 2-hit day. And the Twins have runners at the corners.
Just take what the game gives you. If it requires you just flipping a ball the other way. Backdoor breaking ball. Nice job by Brooks of staying on this.
So now Royce 1 for 3 today. Big spot. Yes, the Twins have a 1-run lead, but hopefully not done. Aggressive cut. Fastball beat him 0-1. Orsi right now would come in with a 1-run lead. And Lewis changed that. Ball 1. Twins at 13-17. The Mariners a game under 500 at 15-16. Ball 2.
Be interested to see if this count gets to 2 strikes. If the Twins run that play they ran a couple times in game 1 of this series, where the old start-stop, will they send Brooks Lee from first base? Different with Caratini at third base.
Foul back. Off the mask of Dexter Kelly. It's called a good game behind the plate today.
Oof. Squared him up.
Still 2-2. A pinch hit, go-ahead single from Caratini. Now at third base, Brooks Lee. At first, and Lewis will take his timeout. Blue Jays in town for 4 beginning tomorrow night.
2 anthems. Get here early.
Awesome. 3-2, and now Lee takes off. A delayed steal right there as he saw the ball in the dirt. And that takes the force away at second.
Yeah, so gets another runner into scoring position if Royce is able to find a way to get a base hit here. I think that was just a straight up delay because he was pulling that start stop as well, like we saw in game 1.
3-2 pitch pulled foul. As Royce recognized that pitch was coming in towards his hands, he tried to get out in front of it.
Yeah, just clear him out of there. This would be big for Royce right here.
30th pitch upcoming from Spire. And that's ball 4. So Lewis draws a walk. Bases loaded. Byron Buxton will hit. And Dan Wilson will head to the mound. Cooper Criswell pitched last night, and Wilson will summon him here in the 8th inning today. So 1 in, 3 on, 2 out. Buxton a chance to break it open when we come back.
Money means more.
Byron Buxton about to bat, bases loaded. Twins on top by 1. Byron has homered not once but twice so far in this series.
A couple of good swings on balls left out over the plate. First one went in the second deck. This one yesterday was a tie game. Big moment. best hitter at the plate. He came through for you. Unfortunately, Twins weren't able to hold on. But you would love to see even just a base hit, a hard hit ball somewhere, number one, for his first table of runners in scoring position this year, but also to break this thing open.
Chris Weld struck out Byron with that exact pitch to end the game last night. Slow bender 0-1. The Twins get their second look at the former Boston reliever and now Mariner Cooper Criswell.
Yeah, tough arm slot, kind of that low, almost sidearm delivery way over on the first base side. It's a good sweep on that pitch. Really kind of.
Already mentioned 0 for 18 with runners in scoring position. Byron bases loaded this season 0 for 6. A swing and a fly ball into left field. Arozarena back, and he'll have a play right near the warning track. And the inning is over. Twins, they'll grab the lead on a Caratini single. Ninth inning, Twins by 1. Welcome back. Let's take a look at today's unreal defensive play of the game. And it came back in the Mariners' third inning, and Matt Wallner with a great running catch in right center.
Yeah, great route efficiency on this one. Good angle. Beating that ball to the spot, and then coming up and making a nice backhanded play on it. Outfield defense has been very good this series.
Eric Orsi has 1 save so far this season. He has the ball in the 9th inning, and Randy Arozarena takes down low ball 1.
Going to see a couple of splits in this outing, and then probably a couple of more.
Ball 2. So the Twins also some defensive changes with the pinch hitting and pinch running we saw in the 8th inning. James Outman now in right, and Victor Caratini behind the plate. 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk starts the 9th inning. And Arozarena with a team leading 7 stolen bases is on to begin the 9th.
The third time in the last 4 innings they have walked the leadoff hitter. They're able to escape it the last 2 times. Hopefully they're able to do that again here. Interesting, Arozarena, with all the splits that Orsi throws, is he going to pick one to run on? Very difficult pitch for Caratini, who's just come in the game, to throw on.
And now Raley, and that had to be stopped by Caratini. So Orsi 5 pitches and 5 balls. And Caratini asking for a new ball. Also will ask for some time to go chat with Orsi. Raley 0 for 7 in this series, 0 for 3 today. And Morty, if you're Orsi and you throw that splitter 63% of the time, and either it's not in the zone or the opposing team isn't chasing it, you only have so many pitches to play with, and you lean on one pitch so often.
And if you're able to eliminate his best weapon, kind of plays into your hand as a hitter. Working ahead is so essential.
So Taylor Rogers warming up in a hurry. 1-0 pitch upcoming to Raley. Arozarena stays and misses badly. And by rule, barring an injury, a reliever must face a minimum 3 batters. Sunshine returns. Two and 1. The slider.
A pretty good crowd, over 20,000 for the first time in this series. Appreciating strike one right there.
Runner stays. 3-1.
It's almost like they know that his, obviously they do know because they know what they're facing when they get in, but it's almost like they're in kind of auto take mode of see if he's going to throw 4 before he throws 3. So 4 balls before 3 strikes. Is that splitter in the zone can we trust that he can land it? And it's almost like they're forcing him to throw it over. Now does he continue to take right here? It's a pretty good split count. Wouldn't be surprised to see Rosarena take off. But does Rayleigh trust the plan to stick with it here?
Throwing over here once. Runner stays, and the pitch. He struck him out swinging.
That was a great call by Caratini, or whether Orsi shook to it, but it really looked like Rayleigh went up there with the intent of, I'm not going to swing at anything other than a fastball until I have to, and he got a fastball, but it had good carry, and with that split that he throws more often, that fastball, fastball's very effective. It gets on hitters.
See if that gives Orsi some confidence now. Dominic Canzone doubled and scored back in the 7th off Taj Bradley. And a splitter. Knee high, strike one.
Show him the one in zone. Show him you can land it. Work ahead in the count, and then able to get the hitter to expand. See if they go back to it here.
Rosarena enhances that lead a bit more. Runner stays. 1-1.
That was a good hold right there by Orsi. Figure Rosarena's trying to size him up, trying to figure out when he can go, and he just held a little bit longer than he did on the previous pitches.
Ball and 2 strikes. Orsi last threw 4 days ago against the Rays. Rubber game of this series. Twins have a 1-run lead here in the 9th.
And looking for their first 1-run victory of the year.
0-4 so far in 1-run games. The 1-2 pitch grounded to first.
Let's see,
and foul.
That was early in the inning. He's 2-0. He's not getting a swing at that pitch, but because he's ahead, and he also showed Canzone one for a strike to start off his at bat. Now he's in control of the at bat. He's able to dictate what happens here.
Rosarena hasn't attempted to steal second so far here in the 9th inning. He stays, and the 1-2 outside. Cole Young, he's come up with some huge swings here in this series, is on deck. I'll go foul. That's the fastball that he used to strike out Rayleigh. Tried it again with Canzone. First 8 pitches for Orsi, 7 were balls, 1 strike, and now that ratio improving. 2-2, ripped to right center field in the gap, and that's a base hit cut off by Outman. Rosarena to third, and the throw cut off by Keyshaw near second. Canzone's second hit. Rosarena now to third, and there are 2 on, 1 out, and Young coming up.
Well, they went back to that fastball, the pitch that he was able to end the at bat with Rayleigh. I guess a pinch runner, Leo Rivas, is going to come in for Canzone at first base and representing the go-ahead run. So it was different than the Rayleigh at bat because Rayleigh had seen so many splits out of the zone, and then he was able to surprise him with that fastball. He tried to double up with it there, but in Canzone's at bat, he was showing you that he was expanding. He was chasing below the zone. Maybe you had another opportunity to go for it and see if you get a strikeout there, but they went with the fastball, and Canzone was ready for it.
Rosarena now at third, Rivas at first, infield in for Cole Young. Ball 1.
Interesting with the infield in. Rivas coming in. Surprised maybe not to see him go there. probably not going to throw through, but where Brooks is playing, he's close to second base.
Rivas runs and no throw from Caratini.
Yeah, and that's as much about not leaving your defensive position as anything else. If you don't want to vacate with Brooks, so Royce is holding him close, holding the Rosarena close at third. Brooks is up the middle. If he goes to cover the bag on that steal, the entire left side of the infield is open, and we saw 2 nights ago Young flip that ball to left with a big hit to drive in a run. So trying to keep your defensive alignment intact.
Now 2-1 does open up first base. And you have Wilson for now, a right-handed hitter on deck. Twins though opting to pitch to Young. The infield in. And the Twins clinging to a 1-run lead. 2-2.
And with that base open, but with 1 out, it's a little different situation than having 2 outs. Similar situation with Naylor a couple of times last night in the ball game with first base open, but not necessarily the best situation with 2 outs. Okay, but just putting more traffic out there. Instead, you're putting it in Orsi's hands to make good pitches. See if you can get him to expand. Pitch to the strikeout here.
The 2-2. We'll do it again. Remember, defensive changes here the Twins made. That's not Matt Wallner's arm and right. More range with Outman on any fly ball. The 2-2 pitch grounded back up the middle, and it'll sneak into center field. And the Mariners will take the lead as Young drives in 2 more. It is 4-3 Seattle.
So often we see now with these defensive alignments trying to cut runs down at the plate. These infielders, not even with the bag, they're all the way up on the grass, and that limits your range. And a ball that sounded like it broke his bat hit it down towards the end. Keishel just out of his reach. Great movement on this pitch, but also give Young credit. He put this ball in play, but you wonder, you know, part of it is to cut that run down at the plate. You get as close as you can, but you see Brooks and Keishel both way up on that grass trying to cut that run down at the plate, and unfortunately it cost him some range, and that was the difference between being caught and going into center field.
Young has an RBI now in 6 straight games. He's knocked in 3 alone today, and the Twins are down by 1.
And you've got Munoz on the other side. One of the best closers in the game.
Big arm, Andres Munoz closes games for the Mariners. Twins have 2, 3, and 4 coming up as Orsi misses high.
2 will be Martin, who pinch hit for Larnach earlier in the ball game, so he'll be your leadoff hitter, and he's been tremendous at getting on base. Just can't allow any more runs to score here.
Right now, Martin, Bell, and Outman scheduled to bat opposite Munoz. Orsi's 2-1. Runner goes and dropped by Caratini. And Young with his 2nd stolen base of the season and the 2nd stolen base for Seattle here in the 9th inning. (3-1), and that's ball 4. 2nd walk of the inning. And Crawford is coming up, and here comes Derek Shelton as a pitching change is forthcoming. So Taylor Rogers will come in with Crawford coming up. The Mariners have 2 in, 2 on, and still just 1 out. It is 4-3 Seattle. Pitching change here at Target Field.
Human sense.
Well, let's go back and take a look at this play with the infield in here. You're trying to cut that run down at the plate. You look, Brooks, a couple steps on the grass. Keishal, even with that grass. And this ball just hit the perfect spot. Not saying if he was playing any deeper, but it's just those infielders, as they've played infield in and as they're trying to cut the runs down, are just keep kind of creeping closer and closer to home plate. And that baseline is actually about 2-3 feet behind that cut of the grass. So you're actually in front of that baseline, and it allows you to make a shorter throw, but also costs you some range.
Strike call, Taylor Rogers facing J.P. Crawford, who's been on 3 times today. Rogers was on the mound for the 9th inning on Monday night. And now 1-1 on Crawford. See how the Twins are aligned defensively. Young at second, Wilson at first. Line to short and off the glove of Lee. Knocks it down, keeps it on the infield, and perhaps saves a run right there.
You wonder how much the base runner in front of him, you could hear by the sound of the contact. I'm not sure if he broke his bat or just hit it down towards the end. It kind of took a weird hop, but you're right. Good job by Brooks of keeping it on the infield, but had some spin and he was just trying to knock that thing down, and it will go down as a hit.
So that loads the bases for Cal Raleigh. 0 for 3 today, 1 for 12 in the series, as Rogers misses high.
Twins out of challenges. Ball above the zone, but don't have the benefit of that.
Three and 0. Twins bullpen walk rate entering play today, 13th highest in all of baseball. Young, Wilson, and Crawford. And a 3-0 count to Raleigh. And there's strike one. Rodriguez on deck. This all began with the leadoff walk to Rosarena. Canzone singled, Cole Young 2-run single. The walk to Wilson, Crawford singled, and now 3-2 on Raleigh. Rogers a nod towards Caratini. These two teams will meet next in late July. July 31st, August 1 and 2 in the Pacific Northwest.
Optimal weather by then.
Perfect. 7th pitch coming up. And we'll have an 8th. Plenty of sweepers here from Rogers to Raleigh. With the best offseason best season last year by a catcher. In terms of offensive numbers in Major League Baseball history. Again, the 3-2.
Rogers in that spot. He's been around enough to know that he just has to keep throwing that ball over the plate. And as this at bat goes deeper, the advantage swings more and more towards the hitter the more pitches he sees. And also understanding the situation, a 1-run game, he does not want to walk him.
Ninth pitch coming up. Rogers to Raleigh. In the air to center field. Buxton moving back, angling, track, wall, jumps up, and he caught it. Up against the padding in right center field. A run scores. On his way to third base is Wilson. And there are two down as Buxton made the play. It's 5-3 Seattle.
You said the outfield defense has been very good. Twins are going to appeal at third base here to see if he left early, but not going to get that call. Good read here now with that high wall in right center field. Buck checking where he's at. Able to go get it, come up with it, hang on.
Got ready for the collision up against the padding. Nice play by Byron, but still Raleigh picks up his 18th RBI as Young scores. Wilson to third. Crawford stayed at first, and now here's Rodriguez. Popped up for Royce Lewis near third. And he'll squeeze it, and the inning is over. Damage done, though. The Mariners bat 8 and have a 5-3 lead. Cole Young has an RBI in 6 straight games. He's knocked in 3 today, including the go-ahead 2-run single a moment ago. And the Mariners have a 5-3 lead, bottom 9, and Andres Munoz is on to throw. Numbers are noticeably higher this season for Munoz.
Yeah, still has tremendous stuff. Able to generate a lot of swing and miss. High strikeout rate. Walking more than he would like, but that slider four-seam sinker combination, more sliders to righties than anything else.
He's been better his last 4 or 5 outings after some rough showings early. You see all the runs he's given up. 5 alone came in 1 outing in San Diego back on April 15th. Austin Martin, his second at bat today. 0-2, and
no challenges left.
Twins don't have a challenge. And he's looked to be low, but nothing the Twins can do about it.
And these are the ones that frustrate you, stick with you when you run out of those challenges and don't have the ability to feel like you're in control of your at bat.
Munoz, an all-star last year. Bell, Outman due up after Martin. Popped it up to short, and Crawford in the sunshine for out number 1. Now, we've said this a lot lately, the Twins losing some of these tightly played games despite receiving tremendous starting pitching. And more of the same today. Taj Bradley, no decision. He went 7 innings, 2 runs, struck out 7 through a career-high 114 pitches.
There's not much more you can ask your starters to do when you're playing a team that was 1 win away from going to the World Series last year. Very good, very talented roster, very good pitching staff. Matched them pretty well and been in these games and had opportunities.
Joe Ryan last night, he worked into the 7th inning, only gave up 2 runs. And the Twins lost that game.
If they're not able to come back here, it's kind of the ones that are backbreakers. When you have those leads late, you need to be able to hold those. Just kind of wears on you as a team.
1-2 now on Bell. Change up at 90 from Andres Munoz. Take a walk here, 3-2.
Absolutely bring the tying run to the plate. And he has done that this year. Above average walk rate.
Payoff coming, and Bell could not hold back on the low slider. And the Twins are down to their final out.
It's just he's got velocity to match, and then slider's a tremendous pitch for him. Will generate a ton of that right there. Get the hitter out front.
And now James Outman, his first at bat today, came in a pinch run for Ryan Jeffers in the 8th inning and scored. At the time, the go-ahead run. And we'll hear from Derek Shelton coming up on Twins postgame, and I think he'll bring up too, yes, the offense again a hit or two away from putting up a crooked number, and we've seen that and heard that a lot here lately. And the Twins had base runners every inning today.
So there was opportunities, not just with 2 outs, less than 2 outs. Just could not come through with that hit that broke the game open.
The 0-2 for Munoz. And something happened to Raleigh here, as he ditched the mask, the glove.
Thumbed, or did he just get some dirt in the glove? It's 60 homers and the beating he takes behind the plate. He's playing every day. He's got that hard cast on there to try and protect that thumb. You know, slider that never made its way back. Gotta bend that thumb backwards.
Now 2-2. Ball game. The Mariners score 3 in the 9th, win the game and take the series 5-3 the final. Cole Young came up with so many big hits, including a couple of more significant swings today, and the Mariners win it by 2. Twins have lost 11 of their last 13, dropped to 13-18. The Mariners now 500, 16-16. For Justin Morneau, Corey Probus saying so long for now. Twins postgame with Marty, Tim, and Audra is next.
Straight game, late inning scoring tells a big story. The Twins got a run in the 8th inning to tie the game up, but Seattle answered with 3 runs in the top of the 9th, and the Mariners take the rubber game 5.
It was still at 87, 80. I mean, he pitched his butt off. I mean, that you can't ask for more in a start than he gave us right there.
With the pen so kind of undefined,